Three, two, one. Imagine biting into a big piece of pink cotton candy or a ripe, juicy, fresh mango, only to realize that those tasty flavors are actually a calculated corporate trap designed to hook our youth to vaping while masking the inhalation of vaporized battery metals, toxic formaldehyde, and industrial chemicals engineered to mutate your lung tissue and permanently hook your brain. Today, I speak before you to advocate for the only logical law change capable of stopping this epidemic, an absolute ban on all electronic cigarette products. This is no longer a phase or a minor trend. We are currently trapped in a predatory public health warfare where multi-billion-dollar tobacco industries intentionally weaponize sweet flavors to target our youth and profit off a lifetime of chemical dependency. The size of this epidemic is staggering. According to data from the CDC and FDA, approximately 1.44 million middle schoolers and high school students currently vape, and 41% of those young students admitted that they use their devices every day. In this presentation, my goal is to expose the industry's sweet illusions, demonstrate the literal cellular destruction hidden inside these colorful devices, and persuade each one of you to agree to a permanent ban on the vaping market to protect our youth. In order to effectively change how we combat youth vaping, it is best to begin by taking a look at the sheer weight and severity of the public health emergency that we are facing. Let's start with the public health reality and the scope of the crisis. The rapid expansion of modern e-cigarettes has completely bypassed historical safety regulations, overwhelmed regulatory safety nets, and has left local communities across America vulnerable to an unregulated industry. A study in the Journal of Public Health Policy by Al-Hamadi, Hopkins, and Park states that youth vaping has reached a literal red alert crisis, driven by an industry narrative that these products are safe alternatives for traditional tobacco. This myth is completely dismantled by medical science. Research by Dr. B&T in Cancer Causes and Control proves e-cigarette aerosol contains heavy metals, volatile compounds, and localized carcinogens causing direct chronic tissue damage. Confirming this destruction, medical experts at MD Anderson Cancer Center warn that this flavored aerosol contains the exact same harmful toxins found in industrial glue and paint. While public health data from the Undo Foundation reveals that nicotine is a direct neurotoxin scientifically proven to be addictive as heroin. Now that we understand the severe biological damage caused by these devices, let's move on to the root causes driving this epidemic. Let's examine the predatory industry design. This epidemic is a direct result of a calculated effort by multi-billion-dollar manufacturers who target young demographics during critical behavior windows, using sweet, enticing flavors to pull a new generation into dependency. Writing for the BMJ, Dr. Douglas Camero highlighted that e-cigarettes function as an aggressive gateway entry point, successfully hooking a completely new demographic of teenagers who statistically would have never picked up a traditional cigarette. Exposing this corporate corruption, the Undo Foundation campaign reveals that these multi-billion-dollar companies are actively turning our youth into lab rats for an experiment, openly treating our generations as replacement customers to hook onto a lifetime of dependency. This problem is accelerated because vaping spreads fluidly as a social cognition through school hallways, as a public health report in the Journal of Epidemiology and Community Health demonstrated that the social risk factors driving youth vaping directly mirror historical smoking trends. Fortunately, once we realize that this corporate manipulation and social environments drive this issue, we can implement a permanent legislative solution. The solution? Implementing a comprehensive ban on vaping products. Traditional partial regulations on flavors or indoor use leave massive loopholes for the industry to exploit because manufacturers change product designs before these federal agencies can react. To truly protect our youth from chemical dependency, we must advocate for decisive legislative action at the local, state, and federal levels to completely ban the manufacturing, distribution, and the sale of e-cigarette products. The structural ban is strongly supported by academic researcher Brandy Allen Sheeler in her study, Adolescent Vaping, a concern, a choice, or a negotiable harm. She highlighted how young people are forced to navigate the heavy environmental availability of these products every single day of their life. By implementing a total ban, we permanently remove these devices from the environment, cutting off the supply before critics can argue about adult consumer choice, proving that total prohibition is the only powerful enough measure to safeguard public health. Let's look at an example of how we could put this technique to good use. Practical application. Imagine store shelves being empty of e-cigarettes. The youth are no longer targeted by corner store window displays or digital ads pushing colorful, addictive nicotine devices. Under weak enforcement, teenagers purchase high concentration devices that spike their anxiety, drain their wallets, and cause chronic respiratory issues or cancer. All these issues can be purely avoided if the product was just removed from the market. A comprehensive legislative ban, completely clearing retail stores and shutting down online shipments would eliminate social pressures and ensure us that by the time a student enters campus, they are completely insulated from predatory marketing and protected from toxic chemicals. We can make this example a reality in our society. It all starts with changing with how we look at the problem. Passing a total ban isn't about ignoring our personal freedoms. It's about eliminating a public health crisis by removing the weapon from the equation entirely. Just like we cut up food into small bites so we don't choke when we try to eat it, a total ban breaks down a daunting multi-billion-dollar industry into a clear, manageable legal boundary so that we can break the cycle of youth addiction and corporate profit. So next time you see a device on campus or you're out with one of your friends, just remember that that device is designed to look like a harmless piece of candy. Remember that your peer has fallen into a highly engineered corporate trap that should not legally exist. Let's change our attitudes, stop settling for weak regulations, and demand that our lawmakers pass a total ban on vaping products to ensure our youth are protected so we can look at our future with hope rather than despair. Thank you for your time.